Guys, welcome to Black Scout Survival, Late Night Live, man. The government shut down. The troops are still reporting for duty. Federal workers are still on the job, but their paychecks frozen. Meanwhile, billions are still flowing overseas. Yeah. Israel, Egypt, Ukraine, Taiwan. Not a cent delayed. Does that sound like America first to you? I don't think so. No. But people keep saying, oh, yeah, it's the greatest time in history. Okay. That tells you everything you need to know about who this government serves. It's not you. It's not me. It's not the troops. Right? Now listen to this.
Flag records related to President Trump.
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this, and you won't.
So one thing, if you notice, what she did was this. She repeated the question.
President Trump.
She took a long pause and then
flag records for
she repeated the question. This is a delay. She's doing this as a delayed response so she can kind of think up what she can say because she got confronted with something that she had no idea was coming. And then she, as you've seen, completely asked directly about Trump's name being flagged, and she dodges it like her life depends on it. I'm not saying Trump did anything nefarious in the Epstein thing. I don't know. But she did dodge it. Now, this is the same Bondi who once said that she had Epstein documents that were sitting on her desk. Now she tells us the client list doesn't exist. Check it out.
The Epstein client list was, quote, sitting on my desk right now for review, end of quote. You then produce already public information and no client list at a major media event hosted at the White House. Attorney General Bondi, why did you publicly claim to have the...
So if you recall, she brought all the influencers up there, said phase one of releasing the files. Why would you do this if you didn't have anything? Like he said, it was already released information that was already available to the public, nothing new.
Epstein client list waiting for your review and then produce nothing relevant to that claim.
Senator Durbin, if you listen.
And just for the record, I can't stand Dick Durbin, but.
Into my entire clip on that, I said I had not reviewed it yet, that it was sitting on my desk along with the JFK files, the Martin Luther King files. And I said I had not yet reviewed it. And if you see our memo on Epstein, you will see, our memo on Epstein clearly points out that there was no client list, our July 6th memo.
So this is what you would call a play on words. She tells us that there's no client list. I don't believe there's a piece of paper that says clients for Epstein with a list of names. But I do know that Bill Gates went there many a times to the island. Bill Clinton did. And none of these people have been brought before the DOJ to be questioned, which tells you everything you need to know. Okay. The other thing is that the files that released, the 33,000 files, were highly redacted. I showed them before. Highly redacted. And they said, oh, it's to protect the victims' names. Most of the names that were redacted were not victims. They were phone conversations or things that Epstein was doing with people getting on flights, excuse me, not victims. So the DOJ's official memo says no credible evidence of a list. Translation, the names of the powerful got sealed, redacted, or buried for your safety and national security. Remember, they said they're national security. Okay. And if you believe that, I've got beach property in Afghanistan for you. The other thing, though, is that she also said, James O'Keefe called her to a cafe telling someone that there was tens of thousands of hours of video. And then the following week, she got on camera saying that as well. Now, she was also questioned directly about Howard Lutnick, the statements he made the other day. I'm going to play the clip. I brought this up the other day. Howard Lutnick, Trump's right-hand man, Secretary of Commerce, he said essentially that he was running a blackmail operation. This is a guy who lived beside Epstein, who knew all these people, and Trump's right-hand man, and he's saying everything that we've said.
On October 1, gave an interview.
Did they see it and ignore it, or
no? They participated. That's what his MO was. You know, get a massage, and what happened in that massage room, I assume, was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. I assume way back when,
Mhm.
They traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence.
Is that true?
Senator, as our July memo said,
And she stopped. She froze. She goes back to that memo, July 6th memo.
we did not uncover evidence. This case has gone through 3 administrations, as well as former U.S.
I
Attorney
know
Alex Acosta.
that, Pam. But have you interviewed Secretary Lutnick?
No, Senator.
Do you plan to?
If he wants to talk to the FBI or the FBI wants to talk to him, that is
Wow, no plans to talk to Howard Lutnick, who just said in an interview that this was a blackmail operation.
more than on.
Don't you think you ought to talk to him after this interview?
Senator, if Howard Lutnick wants to speak to the FBI and if Director Patel wants to speak to Howard Lutnick, absolutely.
Okay. Maybe we ought to get Mr. Lutnick in here too, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely get him in there. He's the guy who said it. Now, a lot of people got mad yesterday with me. It's weird. I'm convinced Yuri Besimov was completely right. When you show facts to the people, the sheeple, and they don't believe it, they get mad at you for showing them what happened. So let's just talk about Ghislaine Maxwell. The timeline here, okay? Convicted 2021, sentenced 2022, appeal rejected 2024. Supreme Court just shut her down on October 6, 2025. That's it, man. Her legal road is over, okay? Now, some folks online say maybe Trump, they told me last night, man, you don't know this is 4D chess, man. This is 4D chess, man. Trump's going to pardon her so she spills names. I don't want her getting a pardon. She took part in a freaking trafficking ring. She was complicit, highly involved. I don't want her to get a pardon. I want her to go down and the people that she was involved with. But that's not how pardons work. A pardon frees her. It doesn't compel her to testify. If she ever talks, it's because she cut a deal with the same system protecting her, right? And the system, as we see, wants silence on this matter. They want silence. Or else we would have Bill Gates up there answering questions. Bill Clinton up there answering questions. What were you doing there? Well, it seems you went there 28 times, amigo. So it's not 4D chess. It's not happening, right? Now, meanwhile, this shutdown is hammering Americans right now, man. Mike Johnson already warned troop checks delayed, air traffic controllers delayed, federal law enforcement delayed. Trump even said if Congress doesn't deal soon, he'll start permanent cuts, programs terminated, workers laid off, and whether furloughed workers get back pay. And that depends on who we're talking about, okay? You know, I just kind of think back to all this Doge money that was uncovered. What happened to all that, man? Where'd all the Doge money go? All the Doge savings? I don't know. It's weird. Hadn't seen any of that come to fruition. I heard about a Doge check. Remember I did a video on it. No Doge checks coming. The tariff check, hadn't heard about those. We were making all this money in tariffs. Oh, it's because it's going overseas. Sorry, I forgot. It's MAGA. Make Israel great again. So your soldiers, your neighbors, the people holding this place together left dangling. But the political elite, man, they're still cashing checks. Okay? And here's the kicker, guys. Foreign aid isn't delayed. It's untouched. Israel still gets $3.8 billion locked in by a 10-year MOU from 2019. Egypt gets $1.3 billion. Jordan gets $1.5 billion. Ukraine has sucked down $75 billion since 2022, and the pipelines are still running. And I was told, man, I voted for it. I fell for it. I'm sorry. I believed him. We weren't going to send money to Ukraine anymore. I believed him. I said, man, I still wouldn't have voted for Kamala, but it just sucks, you know. Taiwan, $2 billion in weapons deals are locked in. Pakistan, $450 million. Billions more scattered across Africa, the Middle East, Central America, man. Your paycheck on ice. They're funding bulletproof. Man, you're struggling to buy groceries, dude. But that Iron Dome, that's America in 2025. Our soldiers can't buy groceries, but that Iron Dome never misses a payment. Shut down for you, full speed ahead for them. I'm sorry. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Like, it's beyond me how people can even freaking argue about this shit anymore. Really. I don't understand how you can keep going with this flow. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't, I guess, because I deal in facts. I don't care how many construction workers you locked up from Walmart. I don't care about that. I care about the billions of dollars going overseas. When we have homeless veterans here, we have struggling American blue-collar workers here. Every day I see it. And history is rhyming. Rome stopped paying its legions. The empire collapsed within decades. Britain stiffed colonial troops after World War I and lost its empire within a generation. Vietnam, American GIs protested pay and conditions in the late war years. Morale shattered, right? Every empire falls the same way. The elites feed themselves. They starve the soldiers guarding the gates. And dude, I keep hearing about all these deals, these Bitcoin deals, these towers going up in Dubai. Oh man, the Trump sons, they richer than shit right now. And you'll hear the uniparty say they'll justify this insanity by saying foreign aid is a national security necessity. Dude, I thought we were the strongest military in the world. Do we really need these people? Do we really need them? I don't know. We should be able to take on everybody. I just think back, man, when I was a young E2, E3 dude, and if I had to go out, man, I was living paycheck to paycheck, dog. You probably were too. You veterans, you know. You got wife, you got kid. And now, you know, you can't feed your family. You know, they're talking about even shutting down damn commissaries, right? Housing our veterans, paying border agents, right? Keeping the freaking cartels at bay. That's a non-negotiable, man. Right now, let's say, you know what, that money going to Egypt or any of these other countries, we're not going to pay that because we need to pay these American workers now. You see the scam, man, they always find money for war. They always find money for foreign allies, but never for you. You sitting home. You watching this video right now. There's no money being found for you, man. Elon was looking for it. He said, man, there's no fixing. That's what he said. He posted that junk on X, said there's no fixing this corrupt government. Guys, it's not incompetence. It's contempt. Okay? And it's just not even money, man. It's the corruption behind it. Freshly declassified documents, right, have proven Ukrainian official Saul Biden family deals as a joke, a blatant double standard. And James Clapper, Obama's DNI, literally wrote in an email that Biden didn't want the intel report on it disseminated. Translation, bury the evidence, protect the family, keep the game going. Why is the name of the Biden's been brought up? Man, I thought we were draining the swamp. Thought we were getting rid of these folks. And then you got Cash Patel. The transparency I promise is being delivered by this FBI. I posted this 22 hours ago. Thanks for my man over there on X. Tag me in this. Readers added context. The Trump campaign promised to release the full Epstein files, which still has not been done. Forbes, all the receipts. All the receipts. I thought the auto pen didn't matter. Nope. Fauci ain't been brought up. I'm sorry. I'm mad today, man. I'm mad today. This is why you don't depend on the government. You don't depend on government checks. You don't depend on the bureaucrats in D.C. deciding if your family eats a uniparty. Because when the empire shuts down, when your pay is frozen, but billions still flow abroad, the only paycheck you can trust is the one you make with your own hands. That's tradecraft. That's mindset. You build systems of survival outside their system, parallel systems, because their system is designed to fail you, okay? Now, I have talked about Bill Cooper many a times on this channel for years. I think he was before his time. And he's a man that had a ton of wisdom, ton of knowledge. And if he was alive today, he would be like, holy crap, I predicted all this. Okay. And so I don't want you to just take my word for it, man. I'm going to play a clip from Bill Cooper. He warned us decades ago. If you hadn't read Behold the Pale Horseman, you got to get serious and read that starting tomorrow. Go to your library, get a Hoopla, go get a library card, use it for your Hoopla app. This is in the Financial Warfare Protocol. This is where I read all my books. And you can read books for free, audiobooks for free. Just go to your library. You're paying the taxes on it anyway. And you don't have to pay for book apps and things. I don't pay for nothing I ain't got to. You know what I'm saying? Go look at my fridge, man. I got them ketchup packets, mustard packets. You know what I'm saying? I ain't paying for nothing I can get for free, right? One thing he said, though, is he said acts of terrorism would escalate and they'd be blamed on whoever the government decides, patriots, Christians, constitutionalists, or just some lone lunatic nutcase like they're doing all the time. Thomas Crooks, Tyler Robinson. And he was right, man. And if you think I'm exaggerating, wait till you hear it from him yourself. I'm going to leave you this for the night, Bill Cooper's own words. Stick with this clip all the way to the end because what he predicted is what we're living in now. Anyway, I'm going to play the clip. Stay to the end. Black Scout Survival, Frosty, Stratton, and Dangerous. Bill, take us out.
Warning you about is coming true, and I hate it. And I mean it, I hate it. It had been my intent, my dream, my purpose in doing all that I have done, and subjecting my family to all the suffering that they've been subjected to, and spending all the money that we've spent upon this instead of upon ourselves, to try to prevent any of this from ever happening by waking enough people so that by sheer weight of numbers of educated, awake, intelligent, smart people could prevent all of this. I have this overwhelming sense that somehow I failed. And I really don't know what to do about that, except to continue in some manner to try to help bring this to some eventual resolution by hook or crook. And as I've always said, hopefully without any bloodshed. But if they're intent upon taking liberty, then by whatever means necessary to prevent the usurpation of our natural rights protected by the Constitution. You see, the government is not Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen. Never was. It's not Bill Clinton. It's not the Congress. It's not Newt Gingrich or Bob Dole or any of those people. The government is the Constitution of the United States of America and the first 10 amendments thereof. That is the government. When that goes, the government goes. It is no longer America. It is no longer liberty. I have no idea what it's going to be. Truthfully, I cannot foresee the future, although I can tell you from all of my studies and research that I believe it's going to be very much a cross between the old Soviet Union and Nazi Germany. And I believe I can go a long way toward proving that. And I can certainly prove that there's going to be a world government. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. And it's coming soon. And as you're going to hear tonight, we're on the verge of losing it all. And as I've predicted in the past, these acts of terrorism will escalate. And they will be blamed upon religious fundamentalists of whatever kind they decide to label. Our patriots, our constitutionists, or some wacko lone nutcase like Lee Harvey Oswald. And of course, all of the people who these acts are ultimately blamed upon will be just pawns. You know, if this were not all true, I would not have been able to predict it so absolutely accurately. And as you're going to hear tonight, oh, there's much more to this than meets the eye. So don't go away.
2, 3. 1, 2.